Hi everyone, Andrea here at Crafts on the Move. I'm going to do a kind of play-by-play, step-by-step, really quick assembly of the CrafTreat Accordion Hinge book. And I want to show you the pieces that come in the kit. This is a really cute kit. I like it. First of all, you're going to have 2 pieces of chipboard, and then you have your 2 black pieces of cardstock to cover your chipboard. So those are your back and front cover panels. And then you will also receive some tags, some black tags. Looks like there's 6 of these, 5 of these, 6 of them, 6 black tags. There's these pockets, which I have already started to assemble. You're going to want 1/8 inch score tape for sure. And then your hinge pages, which have a slit right in the center of the binding part of the book. And then this is the accordion hinge. This is the piece of paper that keeps everything together. So I'm going to start with gluing this together per the directions, and then I'll get back on and show you what it looks like after it is glued together. I wanted to give you an idea of what is happening with the hinge. The first thing you definitely want to do with this accordion hinge is make sure that you score really well where the crease marks are, where there's score lines. And then, and this is exactly as the instructions say, you want to add liquid adhesive to this 1-inch strip, and then you're going to glue these 2 pieces together. And you're going to have about 1/4 inch binding here in between each of the hinges. I'm going to do the next, I wanted to do the 2 of them in front of you so that you could see what I'm talking about. I'm just adding some liquid glue. I'm pressing down. You can use your bone folder if you want to for this part, just to get it really nice and secure. And then I'm going to glue the last inch strips together. You can use paper tape for this too if you want. Now you have an idea of the hinges. These are the hinges. And this is what it looks like on the back side. The next step I'm going to go to, which was actually the first in the instructions, I'm going to add glue to the chipboard covers and cover these with the black paper that is supplied in the kit. You can substitute this out if you want to use your own paper for your covers. You just need to get the measurements of this paper and miter your corners. I'll be right back. Making progress. I have covered the first album cover page, and this I'm going to put pattern paper on unless one of these gets glued to it, which it might. I haven't gotten that far, but I wanted to go over a couple of things for the covers. You definitely want to make sure you crease your pages or the paper, the cardstock, before you try gluing this down. And this is a pretty precise fit. It is precise fit. You want to make sure that your mitered corners are covering the chipboard. And for all intents and purposes, this is pretty, there's one little piece down here, but I kept playing with it. This is good. Actually, this is good. And I use glue on the front side. I am using tape on the scored sides so I don't have to hold it. So I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to go on to assembling the rest of the pockets. They're the finished pocket is going to look like this. You are going to want the 1/8 score tape. You're going to put a strip here, which is the bottom, and a strip really close to the edge on the right. And what you will do for this part of the album is remove the backing from your score tape or whatever you're using. You can glue too, but you have to be careful you don't over glue, or you can end up gluing this piece to the panel. Push this over and then remove this backing and line it up and push it down. You can use your bone folder to make sure you have a nice good seal with the adhesive. That looks great. You're going to do this for all 6 pockets, and I do recommend taking a bone folder, and where the score lines are, go ahead and folding it and creasing it with your bone folder so you have a really nice sharp crease. And then once I get done with this and I finish the cover, I'll be back. Great, we're moving on to another step. All my pockets are made, and the tags, as you can see, fit nicely into the little pocket envelopes that were made. Next, you're going to want to carefully crease with the bone folder the score lines that are on the pages. You have to be careful because there is a slit, and it's very easy to tear these pages. Once you have creased all of the score lines on all of the pages, you are going to take that hinge binding we made, and you will take your page one at a time and slide it right on to the hinge. And then you're going to keep doing this until all the pages are on a hinge. And you just slide right on, very easy. Now the book has you decorating the pages first with your cardstock. I am not going to do that. I want to get this album put together first, and then I will go in and add my paper. That is the book assembled. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to take a 6x8 paper pad, start gluing the pattern paper. Once that is done, I'm then going to, you're gonna want to glue these pockets, get glued into the inside of the pages, if I'm reading the directions correctly. But I also want to decorate these pockets first before I glue them. Now I don't think I want to see this glued to this side. So what I might end up doing is leaving this black and putting the pattern paper over both so the hinge is hidden. But I haven't decided yet. I'll probably do a trial run, see what I decide I like the most. But now I will go ahead and add the paper. And the reason I like to assemble the book first is it helps with me mentally to figure out the flow of the pages, and also it'll help so that I make sure my direction, if there's any directional paper, that it's on right. And I will be back in a while. I have made quite a bit of progress on the album. I went ahead and glued the front and back covers to the flap hinge, and I added pattern paper to all the pages. If you want a border, you need to cut your paper down to 5 by 7. If you don't, it's 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. That is the size of the black pages. And you can see here, I simply put pattern paper and solid cardstock on all the pages. Super cute. I am going to finish adding paper here, and then on the pockets, what you're going to do is cut pieces of paper that are 6 by 3 1/2, And then you will take the piece of paper that you're going to have decorated on this side where the V is. Oops. All right, with your 6 by 3.5 piece of paper, you're going to slide it into the tag pocket. Take a pencil and trace the line. I would cut a little bit above the line. Otherwise, you might end up with more border on the top and bottom than left and right like this one did. Not that people are really going to pick it up, but if you're particular, you're going to want to do that. And then what will happen is once you get the pocket decorated just on the front, you will adhere the pocket to the hinge, and then you are going to take another sheet of cardstock and glue it to the back to cover the hinge, and that will keep these pages in place and make the book a little more taut. I will come back when I have some decorations on the album.